Hello students, I hope that you are doing well. Today we will be talking about another important area of psir paper 1, that is social movements. Okay, these are very important movements and every other time with regard to UPSC, they have been concentrating on worldwide movements and also the movements that are happening in our country too. So previously if you see that in PSIR there was a question with regard to Arab uprising that took place in the northern African countries, especially started from Tunisia. Then once upon a time they also asked a question with regard to Greenpeace India mission, and in 2025 PSIR paper 1 they did ask lipstick movement. And before that they have also asked about rainbow movement, you can say rainbow revolution. Always remember this point, UPSC is very closely watches the various worldwide social movements. Remember this point. They don't actually ask questions with regard to what has happened before apart from French Revolution, American Revolution and our Indian national movement. Apart from that, they don't as such go much in the history with regard to asking a question on revolutions or movements, but yet definitely they are always keeping a track of the various revolutions and movements that has happened very recently, and that particular movements and revolution are a part of our examination appearing in the question paper for sure. So today our topic of discussion is social movements. With the name only you can understand we are talking about, I have always told you in my previous lectures, and we have also learned the differences between society, government, state, association. So difference between and among these we have already completed, right or wrong? Then we have also seen with regard to social movements which are basically driven by society, which is nothing but what? Assemblage of people or a group of people, that is only called as society. Okay, when a society assemble or in a society a group of people assemble, it will be called as a movement. Society definition anyhow is a very different one. It is nothing but communities coexisting together. Okay, society is a very larger word, communities coexisting together. Again, what is the meaning of community? Means it's a population. Then what is the meaning of population? Means it has been created by an individual. So individual gives rise to population. Diverse population gives rise to what? Community. Diverse communities gives rise to what? A race. Diverse races gives rise to what? A nation. It is not true for every other country, it is true for us, because we also have Aryan race, we also have Mongolite race, we also have Dravidian race. So that much elaborated society as such we do not have in the world as we are having for our country. That's why it is most beloved country on the planet Earth. We have embraced not only races, we have embraced communities, we have embraced diversity, we have embraced pluralism, we have embraced assimilations, we have observed the change also. It's not that we are very rigid with regard with our development. When Islam has invaded, we have taken good from the Islam. When Britishers have invaded, we have taken good for them. Okay, we learned from each and every era, and we have created this particular country on the foundations of many the best of the best in the world with regard to ideas, thoughts, with regard to principles, ideologies, etc. so and so forth. Okay, so now we are talking about, so that's what the meaning of society is very different. Here we are talking about when in a society if there is a assemblage of people is there, a group of people is there, which we call as a movement. This assemblage, this group of people, basically they do that particular assembling and grouping in order to bring a change, in order to oppose a change, in order to undo anything, in order to ask for neutrality, in order to ask for neutrality. Suppose now let us see in our country, I'll give you an example that how all of these are still happening in our country, but we classify in a theory in this way. To bring a change, we are having movements in our country with regard to what? Unemployment or exam paper leaks, etc., the examination procedure, okay, transparency, accountability. The students are fighting for this change or not? Yes, they want to bring a change. Oppose a change from the existing setup. CAA, NRC, people are opposing, especially not for CAA but for the NRC. Opposing. Undo anything. Government of India recently bought a law which actually prohibits lot of digital rights of the individual YouTubers. Okay, so people are wanting that, like farm laws were there. Farm laws. So government bought some farm laws which are pro to corporatization. That's why the people wanted it undo any change. Means what you have done, take it back. Okay. Ask for neutrality. You can see one nation, one election. This is proposed by the present government, but all the other governments will say that we don't need to go for that one nation, one election. Whatever is there, let us be neutral. Let us be neutral. No need of any change, no need of any undoing, no need of any doing, no need of omitting, no need of what? Acting. Okay, right. So social movements are basically, they are coming from the assemblage of people or a group of people, try to bring a change, oppose a change. I always tell you that in the class you study and get the concepts and go. 60-70% you should learn and go. This is very, very important. Bring a change, oppose a change, undo anything, ask for neutrality. I have given the examples how the social movements are being organized on these important 1, 2, 3, 4 domains. Now the next important area here to understand is social movements, the nature of social movements. How are it? How are they? How is it? The nature of social movements. Across the world, the social movements has been actually seen on various spheres of individual rights, individual or society as a whole. Okay, so the nature of social movements goes this way. Some movements are related to political nature, they are called as political movements. Some are in order to remove the social evils from the country. So we don't call it as social evil movements, we generally call it as social movements only. Some to remove evil, some to bring a larger change in the society, some are social movements. Now we can also have economic movements. Okay, now recently another one added here is what? Environmental movements. In political movements you can also classify civil liberties movements are there. In political movements you can classify human rights movements are there. So this is one area only but segregated into two subheadings. Remember this point. So the nature of social movements is for the society, for the politics, for the economy, for the environment. Remember this point here. Economic movements as such we have not seen in our country, but we will see only when the country goes into economic crisis. Economic crisis is nothing but where the people are unable to afford, unable to access, unable to have adequate amount of basic necessities. Okay, petrol is 500 rupees per liter. Food availability, like food prices have soared to 200 rupees per kg. There is a very queue is there in order to buy a LPG cylinder. Okay, in that case, that particular situation is called as economic crisis, and all of these unavailability is because of what? Less production in our country, and less production in any country will basically supplemented with what? Imports. Government does not have enough foreign exchange reserves to actually import. That the same situation happened in 2022 in Sri Lanka under the Rajapaksa government. They don't have foreign exchange reserves to buy, nor they have the sufficient production to feed the citizen, leading to economic crisis, torching of parliament, government authority, government symbols authority. The president has to flee away. The Prime Minister of Sri Lanka has to flee away, Rajapaksa. So economic crisis India has not seen. That is the reason we do not have economic movements. Okay, the basic thing that we do on the social media with regard to economic movements is we will criticize the Nirmala madam's taxation policies. Okay, and we say her that you are taxing the middle class more and more. So that kind of things will happen generally after the budget is being presented. For 1 or 2 months we will do blah blah. After that we'll leave it. Okay, blabbering we do, that's all. After that we leave it. So economic movements as such we do not have, but economic movements were very cornerstone in our history movements, in our historical movements, because we do not have to fight the social, we do not have to fight the political rights, because that was given to us through the constitution itself. So that's why right to liberty we did not ask for, right to freedom we did not ask for, because it is already given to us. So at the time of independence we are actually having very problems with what? Economic resources only. That economic resources were only liberated through the Land Ceiling Act, which was one of the most important economic resource at that time and has seen lot of accumulation in the hands of only very few people. So economic movements at that time was a cornerstone of any movements across the world and also in our country. Okay, land reforms came into being. Then we have got into slowly bonded labor abolition act. So basically many of the things has been given to us, political things we have are given to us, political rights, civil rights are given to us. Now it has been like over a period of time as a successive governments comes in, during the Indira Gandhi ji period only, during today also, there are some civil liberty restraints and constraints are being imposed by the government on us, but for that there is separate discussion anyhow we have to do. But at this point of time, just understand that in our country there has hardly been any economic movements in the modern times. The only thing that we talk about is what? Taxation, because it is related to what? Lot of individuals in our country. So social movements basically corner around all of this. We'll talk about its characteristics, we'll talk about the nature, we'll talk about the theories related to social movements. We'll also talk about the social movements across the globe. We'll also talk about the social movements across in our country, and we'll also categorize into various subheadings, and we'll learn each and every movement, whether it is environmentalist movements or civil liberties movements, all of that movements and the theory behind it and the political thinkers behind it, through which this particular movement has been inspired or has been incorporated. All of that we are going to study. Let us start our lecture. Okay.